Now it's time for Tech 24, and it's been a big week for the world's richest man, Elon Musk. Not only has he inaugurated Tesla's Gigafactory in Texas, but he's also officially become Twitter's biggest shareholder. Well, to tell us more, I'm joined here on set by tech editor Peter O'Brien. Thanks for being with us. Hi. What's your initial reaction to the news of Elon Musk's stake in Twitter?
Well, I have to say my first reaction was, uh-oh, because we know with these big social media platforms, even if you make what seems like a small tweak, it can have serious and sometimes unintended consequences. Just look at how Twitter changed their algorithm 6 years back so that the order of your tweets was no longer chronological, but based on your sort of interests. A change like this affects so many users and changes what content goes viral that it can, in fact, have a big impact on civil discourse itself. So this means any kind of tweaks you make have to be made with a great deal of caution. Now, Twitter's new top shareholder isn't exactly a man known for his caution and tact, not least on Twitter. In fact, his tweets themselves have been so reckless that he's legally obliged to have a lawyer sign off on all of them. And now he's on Twitter's directors board. He owns 9.2% of the company, and he could bump this up to 15% in the future. And make no mistake, this isn't a passive stake, which he initially filed for. We believe he made a mistake on that. It's actually an active stake, so he'll have a say in how Twitter's run.
Okay, so what changes is he looking to bring then?
Well, at first glance, it sort of seemed like he was just in it for the memes. After he disclosed his investment, he asked his 80 million followers whether they'd like an edit button. That's the option to change their tweets after they've been posted. Perhaps even this would have major changes and ramifications for the platform, but it's clear that Musk has bigger plans than that. Before he disclosed his stock, Musk asked his followers whether they thought that Twitter adhered to the principles of free speech and whether, in fact, an entirely new platform was necessary. Musk, remember, describes himself as a free speech absolutist, and he might want to take Twitter back to the days of no to little moderation, where anyone could pretty much say what they like with few consequences. I suppose he might prefer this, given how his tweets have got him into a lot of trouble in the past.
Absolutely, but wouldn't reducing moderation actually go against the work that Twitter has been doing over the past few years?
It would seem so. Before Musk rocked up, of course, the current CEO, Parag Agrawal, said Twitter had a responsibility to prevent efforts to manipulate public conversation, meaning essentially that Twitter would continue to invest in moderation. Now, Musk actually appeared to mock this approach back in December when he tweeted a meme of Agrawal as Stalin, making the former CEO and founder Jack Dorsey disappear, as you can see. You would have thought this would have made for quite an awkward first day at the office for Musk tweeting this kind of thing about his new CEO, but all may not be what it seems, because Agrawal is very much Dorsey's protege, and Twitter remains heavily invested in Dorsey's Blue Sky project. This project is looking for ways to decentralize Twitter, making its algorithms more open, more transparent, more customizable, and allowing Twitter to integrate with other platforms more easily. So to some, this might sound like more blockchain nonsense, but at the very least, it seems to ring true to Musk's own vision of social media. So maybe the whole thing wasn't just a big meme after all.
All right, so we've had your reaction. What do others think?
Well, the reaction's obviously been vast and varied. In the US, we've had Republicans jumping for joy and clamoring for Musk to reinstate Donald Trump on the platform after, of course, he was banned for inciting violence. Crypto enthusiasts, meanwhile, are very excited about the thought of a blockchain-based platform, and investors were happy to see the value of their stock go up because, as we know, where Musk's meme power goes, investment tends to follow. But in terms of the longer-term financial outlook, well, it's more tricky because the less centralized and the less controlled Twitter is, the less attractive it could be to advertisers who don't want necessarily to run their ads alongside a kind of free-for-all of trolls and hate speech. Meanwhile, a number of actual employees of Twitter have actually taken to the platform to voice their worries about how they fear that Musk might be dragging it back and sort of undoing the progress that they've been working on for years. And some others have speculated that journalists might not want to be on a platform where they could be attacked by one of its board members. As we know, Musk has a habit of raging against members of the press. I just hope he doesn't come for us this time.
Peter O'Brien, thanks very much for that update on the latest developments at Twitter. Obviously, many journalists paying attention to that. All of us are slightly addicted to that platform.